What's up everyone, Darcblade here with a patch information video for Mass Effect Andromeda. This is regarding patch 1.05 for the game and focuses on bug fixes and improvements to the player's overall experience. BioWare have introduced a number of changes to the single player and multiplayer to resolve various issues with the games. The highlights being fixes to saves not working properly, lip sync and facial animation issues during conversations, as well as a skip the autopilot sequence in the galaxy map. Patch 1.05 is not available at the moment, but should be available on the 6th of April, so it's this coming Thursday. BioWare have said they have been listening to fan feedback and are working to create a better Mass Effect Andromeda experience, both for the single player and the multiplayer. But let's go into a bit more details to what was included with patch 1.05. Firstly, they've improved the tutorial placements. Next, and a personal bonus for me, they've increased inventory limits. The single player has also received numerous balance changes. These include ammo crates, armor, weapons, nomad, profiles, attacks and progression. However, the patch notes that they've given us at the moment don't go into any more detail about what the actual changes are. The same goes for the multiplayer. The multiplayer has received numerous balance changes. These include tweaks to the weapons, cover system and enemies. Again, like I said already, BioWare have not given us too much more information regarding what these balance changes actually are in any depth. They're simply saying to check back later. And as soon as there is information on this, I'll try to get a video about the multiplayer changes ASAP. This patch is also supposed to improve matchmaking and latency issues in the game's multiplayer, which should hopefully improve everyone's multiplayer experience. Hopefully this will fix the disconnection issues, especially on the extraction round during a gold match. As I've already mentioned, they've added an option to skip the autopilot sequence in the galaxy map. They've decreased the cost of remnant decryption keys and made them more accessible at merchants. They've improved logic, timing and continuity for relationships and story arcs within the game. Again, as I've already mentioned, they've improved lip sync and facial actions during some conversations, including localized voiceovers. They've fixed an issue with riders' movements when running in a zigzag pattern. They've also improved the appearance of eyes for humans and Asari characters. They've also addressed various collision issues, as well as fixed bugs where the music or voiceovers wouldn't play or wasn't correct at all. They've also fixed issue where global squad mates banter sometimes wasn't firing on UNCs. They've also fixed an issue where players were unable to access the Remnant console interface after failing decryptions multiple times. Next, they fixed an issue where fast travel sometimes disabled after recruiting Drac until the player reloads the save. The next issue, which is both a single player and multiplayer issue, is where Ryder, or the player in multiplayer, can become stuck in the start of the biotic charge pose. As I mentioned at the start of the video as well, they've also fixed issues with some saved games. They also fixed an issue with the multiplayer where some objectives became uninteractable for players. And finally, they've made improvements to streaming and stability. So as you can see, there's been a lot of changes, mostly focusing on the single player more than the multiplayer with this patch. Of course, in regards to balance changes, we don't know the details just yet, but hopefully come Thursday, I should be able to get a video out about that, going into a bit more in-depth details. But I'm glad to see that BioWare are trying to mend some of the major issues with Mass Effect Andromeda. But I do often wonder if this is going to be too late, if the damage has already been done and no amount of duct tape can fix it. For me personally though, because I have been putting off the single player experience, I'm now glad that I've waited and that hopefully my single player experience shouldn't be too disastrous as some people have made it out to be. But anyway, what do you think of patch 1.05? Happy with the single player improvements, or is it not enough? Also, what do you reckon the balance changes are with the multiplayer? Personally, I'm hoping that melee is decreased in terms of damage and that some weapons, and especially combos, are buffed a bit. Leave a comment down below. And until next time, I've been Darcblade, bringing you a patch information video for Mass Effect Andromeda. Hope you enjoyed the video, thanks for watching, subscribe and like for more.